Happy Monday morning. I am in the house with Bamal Shah, the CEO of Rajparth Achievers. How are you, Bamal?
Good morning. How are you, Blanca? Thank you for having me here.
It is my pleasure and it's my honor. And what I tell all of you watching right now is that this is like literally, you need to get out your notebook. You need to get out your pen. You need to understand that Bamal's time is valuable and you need to pick his brain, engage in this chat, ask him questions, and let's get fired up. It's Monday morning. The vacation is over. It's time for you to wake up. And today we're going to be talking about breakthroughs in optimal employee productivity. This is one of my favorite topics. So at the end of this webcast, you're going to have 3 to 10 steps to make your team optimally productive. So what is the first step to I literally am fascinated by this. What's the first step, Amal?
The first step is we have to make sure that the team reports to you on a daily or weekly basis. This is one of the most important thing that I see is missing in almost every company that I work with and I train, is there is no reporting system. Now, reporting is not micromanaging. Reporting is completely a different than micromanaging. So there was a query on the chat. I believe we're live. So somebody wants to apply for a grant. They can definitely start the process at bit.ly/grants now with a capital G. Blanca, if you just want to put that link,
of course, I'll put that on right now.
Yeah. So if you want to get started, Cheryl, just go ahead there, just with the capital G, no N, just G.
Okay.
All right. So just the first thing is reporting. Reporting is absolutely essential, and reporting forces the employee to report something nice. So at the end of the day, if people, it's just a simple question: what did you get done for the day? Okay, very simple. You don't have to make it complicated. And what I wanted, just answer this question for me: what did you get done for the day? Okay. Yeah. And just the answer to that question, having that come to you, is mind blowing. And I can see so many companies don't even ask that question. The day passes by and then they're frustrated, things are not happening, this are not happening, but you're the one who's deciding not to pop that question. So
100%. It's so important. Yeah, I mean, I literally can't emphasize enough. So what else? So we got to get a daily report, maybe do a Zoom meeting planner, do a recurring meeting with your.
Well, I have a full system. So if people can go to this link that you just posted, the breakthrough tools, I have created a unique reporting system that that people can access, that they can implement in their business, that allows them for any type of reporting, daily, weekly, whatever you want to do. So I have a saying that, and this is my own quote. What gets measured gets improved. People know that. But what gets measured and reported takes improvement to a new level. So you have to measure and report, and that takes improvement to a whole new level. So that's people can go to visit that site, Breakthrough Tools, and I'd be happy to share with them specific things on reporting system. Now, today in this environment, we should consider this as the new normal. It's a blessing, in disguise, that we are forced to meet via Zoom. We're forced to meet online. We're forced to do things. And we should adapt to this. You should adapt to this whole environment and be productive with this. And there's lots of resources that is available even when we're doing online. Like, when you're going live stream and people are chatting and we can answer their questions, and this is productive for many. So this is also forcing many companies to have remote employees. So now, this is an environment that many companies were not ready for. Like, how do we have employees work remotely and at the same time get things done? Well, if you had a reporting system, your employees would be able to work remotely and get things done, right? So that's that. I would say, when you do instill that, that's very powerful. Some of the other things is, you definitely want to think about the current environment. In this current and sorry about that. Sorry about the interruption. Um, in this current environment, you want to think about revising the job descriptions. What your team used to do before is not what they would be completely doing today. And you have to take a good look at, what do I really want my team to do? Now, there are many companies today, well, they say, I don't have the money to hire more people. I can't afford to because business is tight. So, and absolutely, you should be working with a very lean team. The Instagram was built on 12 people, a $1 billion company that was built on just 12 people. So is it possible to build a big company with a lean team? Absolutely. So how do you work with the lean team? This is where time and what you're utilizing in the job description. Now, one of the mistakes that most people make with job descriptions is they have a full list of responsibilities. And that's what people think. Well, job description is list of responsibilities. No, it is a list of outcomes. List of outcomes. So you need to figure out what results you want from your team on a timed basis. So some results you want on a daily basis, some results you want on a weekly basis, some results you want on a monthly basis, some results you want once a year, some results you want quarter, some results you want every 2 weeks. So depending on what results you want, all those results should be outlined. And then give them the opportunity to find a way to give you that result. Instead of telling them, this is, how you do it. Because that's where some of the times the bottleneck is in the how. Because sometimes the how that you described doesn't work for them, or they're trying to do that how, and then we'll say, you told me to do this, so I did it, so it didn't work. Well,
exactly. You have to, regardless of what the employee is doing, take into consideration their feedback because they're the one doing the task. They're acquainted with it.
So I'll give you the simplest example, okay? And it's very simple example so people get it. Okay, call Mr. Smith. Okay, now my intention of telling my assistant to call Mr. Smith is not just to call Mr. Smith. Right? What is my intention? My intention is to make an appointment, right? I want to speak to Mr. Smith. I want to have a time. I want to have a conversation. I want to have a meeting, whatever it is. That's my goal. So I wouldn't necessarily tell my assistant, my team that, hey, this is what I want. I would say, get me, in front of Mr. Smith by Wednesday, no matter what. I don't care if you have to send chocolates, flowers, whatever you got to do. I want to see you. Now that's a description of an outcome. Okay.
I like that. In other words, don't just talk to Mr. Smith, but have a meeting scheduled at a set day and time after you're off the phone with Mr. Smith.
Right. So that's the result that you want. So that's where people have to delegate outcomes. This is where one thing that what do I put in the job description? Don't put tasks, don't put responsibilities, put projects and outcomes.
I love that. That's powerful. Powerful. Yeah. Tell us more.
So when you give projects, you jump to the next level. People, how does Instagram become a $1 billion company? With 12 people. So that's by projects. They don't have necessarily just tasks and outcomes. They have projects. So every team member is given a major project. And the projects are something that help you make leaps. So identify 1 to 3 projects that each one of your team members want to take on. And these projects help you make a leap going forward. Okay. So example, what we are doing right now is a project, doing the podcast and webcast and putting it together, putting the task and putting it on the audio and making sure that this happens on a recurring basis. This is not just a task, it's a project. And And then, this is something that opens up doors to so many new initiatives, right? So
Without a doubt, without a doubt. Webcasting is the wave of 2021. If you're not hosting a webcast, you're missing out. Am I right, Bamal?
yeah, absolutely. So this is what I call a project as itself. So think about new projects that you can get started. Identify that this is a project that would help me in my company. Markets that will help you tap into, products, initiatives, resources that will help you tap into, and identify those projects. Now, once you have a project, you need to identify, and I have a tool, the whole process innovator tool system that goes from beginning to end on how to get the project completed. I even have a how to success deck with 52 tools that shows, one of the tools is the strategic project achiever. And that strategic project achiever tool, it helps you walk through on how to break down the project and achieve it in record time. Like I have one project, the success deck, a product that I created, which included 52 workshop videos, 52 tools, 52 resources, and 52 different concepts, one for each week. We built and successfully that project in less than a month, and we completed that in less than a month. So,
Wow.
so think about projects that you want your business to do and your team members to do, and give projects to your team members. Now, many a times when you have your team, the first thing you should eliminate is their title, because once you have a title, you get into that box. This is not my job. You didn't hire me to do this, right? So give a very unique title. So I'll give you an example. Okay. Tony Hsieh of Zappos. I don't know. You know Zappos?
Yes.
Okay. So Tony Hsieh of Zappos, his company was bought by Amazon for $1 billion. But his team members didn't have the normal titles. Okay. So his assistant dressed up in a black ninja suit, and comes to work. Okay. And she calls herself the Time Ninja for Tony.
That's hilarious.
So her responsibility, is like, how do I make Tony his time productive? And she's got this ninja warrior suit that she comes in to work, and it's fun.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's good.
Yeah.
A little humor. Bring in some humor into the workplace.
Yeah, bring in some fun. Like one of the things we're doing for a parking company right now is we're creating a hip hop, rap song dance to what mistakes they should avoid on a daily basis, because it's costing the company $100,000, insurance premiums going through the roof, and contracts dropping because silly mistakes like they didn't roll down the windows, they didn't lock the car, they forgot to write down the parking spot of the car. So there are 6 people looking for the same car when these 6 guys could be parking a dozen cars at the same time. So it's important that you bring some fun and excitement. One of those people in Tony's place, they have a Zen place where he has a wooden cottage as his office, and in that wooden cottage he has a princess chair.
I love it.
So bringing optimal productivity in workplace, you have to think outside the box, but inside the box, meaning that you have to put the boundaries of what you want to think about, and then think outside the, like creative, within those boundaries. So that's key. Now, with each team member, write down these keywords, whoever's listening, and it's on this show. These are the 3 things that they should be looking at their team members to deliver to them: direction, capabilities, and confidence. So number 1 is what direction my team members are providing to me. And I can tell you that you don't want all yes people around in your team. You want people that say no to what you have to say, because you want feedback. You want to see where you're making mistakes. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. So you definitely want feedback. I can tell you a story. One Amazon FBA company that I was training, they doubled their sales with the feedback from an employee that was making very little money on an hourly basis. She was just a front desk assistant. Okay. And the company was facing a communication bottleneck because they had warehouses and they had 3 floors and they were constantly going up and down the floors and nobody would find them on their desk. So when we were doing the workshop and I was doing the workshop, she just said, why don't we get walkie-talkies? And the owner of the company is like, why not? He goes on Amazon, boom, 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 boom. Done. They're coming here Wednesday. 15 walkie-talkies.
Well, actually, just to do a little networking here, my fiance owns a wireless two-way radio company. So maybe next time consider David Schaffman, one of our sponsors of the network, Wireless Two-Way Radios. But that's incredible. Just that one suggestion doubled that salary's business.
Yeah, the sales in quarter jumped from, that was not just the one, but it was one of 4. But 25% contribution in doubling the sales in the quarter from 600,000 to 1.1 million. So
that's a massive. That's a game changer.
Yeah, game changer.
Now I have to ask a follow-up question. Did they reward the employee for the feedback?
Absolutely, and they started a whole bonus program, and again, many companies, they think about sales, but sales is not the only important line in your P&L statement. If you drive down your expenses, is as good as adding more to your sales. To give you an example, if every dollar that you make in a company, if you're netting 15 cents, 20 cents back to you, you're at 15 to 20% net profit. But if you improve your expense, like reduce your expenses, it's like adding $1 more to your sales. Because let's say you add 10 more cents to your net profit. So you go from 15 cents per dollar to 25 cents per dollar. It's like doubling your sales without having to double your sales.
Less work. Well, it's all about reducing those expenses. I mean, that is one of the most difficult things to achieve. And I'm sure you work with companies on that alone to help them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I give them a whole analysis on all the areas they can reduce expenses. In fact, with another company, what we did is we started a program where any employee who brings in a reduction in expenses gets 10% of the savings. So this employee went out to all the courier companies, reevaluated their whole shipping, and saved the company $30,000 in shipping.
That's fantastic. That is so great.
He got a $3,000 bonus. So, it's not just sales that companies should always look at. Let me grow up sales, let me grow sales. But you're not taking a tab at looking at your expenses. What if there was a way to double your net profit without having to grow your sales? Would you take a stab at it?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you could just double your net profit without having to grow your sales, would you like to take a stab at it? That's something they should do. Government grants, very, very important. If teams want to be optimally productive, because grants, businesses can get and they can qualify for, and they can go to bit.ly/grants now, and you can see what grants do you qualify for. The thing is, the most important thing when you want your team to be optimally productive, you have to build timeless training. So timeless training means that, training that can last long after you're gone, and can continue training your team members and can allow others to improve their training on an ongoing basis. So, develop those kind of training. Many times people say, well, I just offer on-the-job training. I go work with them, I train them, I make them repeat the same thing over and over again, and hopefully after it's teaching them for over 100 times, they will get it. That would work, but in the essence, timeless training materials with systematic approach and quizzes and checklists and things like that, and proper process and systems and documentation and having to sign off and do everything. It creates a good system of avoiding failures. And I'll tell you a story. There was a book written, checklist, and if in the old times, the planes, when they take off, they have a checklist, right? They do not take off without a checklist. In the old days, when there was no checklist, there was a plane crash that would have been avoided, and lives were saved just because of a checklist. So make that happen. And I would love to share all these ideas. People can go to bit.ly /breakthrough tools, share their goals, resources, and I'll be happy to provide them with the next steps and make their team optimally productive.
It's incredible what you're teaching us, Bimal, every single Monday at 9 o'clock. Join us on the laws of business breakthroughs. And of course, you can always go to bit.ly/grants now. And Bimal, how are you enjoying the laws of business breakthroughs?
It's great. It's awesome. I get the opportunity to share, and people get to participate, and they get to learn. And my whole goal is to make breakthroughs in everybody's life. And in fact, one thing I wanted to share, there's it's called Google/Words norm/Google Words, and it tracks which is the most important word that has the biggest spike in over 200 years. And the one word that has the biggest spike over the last 50 years is breakthrough.
No way. Isn't that interesting? Wow.
Let me see if I can find that link. I was just looking at it. Amazing insight that, the word that's most used over 200 years in all books is kind. The word that has the biggest spike lately, over the last 60 to 70 years is breakthrough.
Well, Bimal, working with you and co-hosting the Laws of Business Breakthroughs is my pleasure and honor, and I'm learning so much every single week. So everyone out there, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, join us every Monday at 9 o'clock for the Laws of Business Breakthroughs with Bimal Shah, CEO of Raj Parth Achievers. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Bimal.